I've never changed the scratch pad, but yeah, not a problem. You're the only one inbound anyway, so.
Back to full set, quick and accurate.
No problem. Thanks, wind 3004, runway 35 left, clear landing.
693,
2685, the land center is offline, radar service terminated, frequency change of grid, good night. Yeah. Bunker 3798 Jacksonville Southern, squawk 3043.
And hello, fellow aviators. VREF Summer here. Welcome to this Sunday night flight. Continuation of our Friday night flight. We are here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. This was an unplanned stop, but here we are. And for those of you who are joining the stream on Friday night, you saw what happened. We had a pressurization issue with the aircraft. Oxygen mask deployed in the MD-83. So we had to divert into Orlando, Florida, and so we are here in beautiful Orlando. VATSIM controllers are online tonight, which is a really nice treat to have. And we just have a short little hop up from Orlando to Charlotte, North Carolina to take Inter Miami to their final game of the regular season against the Charlotte FC soccer team. So that game actually occurred in real life last night, but here we are. They're just
73 Jack Center, good evening, squawk 2735.
We had to swap aircraft over to the MD-83, and so everybody's getting on board. They're just finishing up loading the bags right now, but we'll go ahead and hop inside and start getting everything briefed and ready to go. Looks like we have a good crew here already on the aircraft. Welcome aboard Aviation Geek. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Glad to have you here on the jump seat. Jason with the Flight Sim Broadcasting Network, what's up to you also? Thank you. Glad you're here. Marco Girardi, hey, glad to have you on board. And Sean, so excited to have you here. Thanks for all your hard work getting this flight swapped over to this aircraft so we could get Inter Miami up to Charlotte, the same day service.
Taxi to the ramp via hotel.
So we'll talk a little bit more about what happened once we're in flight, but basically what we were flying the MD-83 from Fort Lauderdale up to Charlotte, and we had a pressurization issue, and the masks deployed in the passenger cabin, which means we had to divert into Orlando. Thankfully in Orlando we have another aircraft. It's an MD-83, so that's the plane we swapped over to. You can see the sun's starting to set a little bit. This is about 50 minutes after we got in to Orlando Friday night time-wise. So we are just simulating that we just got the aircraft towed over here from the hangar, and we're just now getting everybody loaded on board. So yeah, it's an MD-80 party. That's right, Sean. So special shout out to Captain Kavu, who is actually, I believe he's type rated in the Mad Dog, and he gave some good comments on that previous video I posted on my channel about what really happened, and we'll delve into that a little bit when we get into cruise flight. But it should be a pretty short taxi and flight all the way up to Charlotte today. So without further ado, while they're finishing up the loading, we'll go ahead and brief the flight really quickly. First things first, let's look at the weather. It's like the passenger bus is coming. Okay, I guess they didn't keep them inside the signature. They must have wanted to go get some food. Gotta keep those soccer players well fed, you know. So I guess that's what's going on there. All right, so we'll look at the aviationweather.gov. That's the first thing to check out. So let me pull that up on the screen for us. So here we are. This is that new website which I described in the previous video. But currently, weather-wise, in Orlando, it's beautiful. Winds 300 at 4, 10-mile visibility. Few clouds 12,000, overcast 25,000, and temperature 22, dew point 16, altimeter 3002. They are departing to the north this evening in Orlando, so we'll plan a runway 36 left departure. Up in Charlotte, it's also beautiful. Winds 010 at 7 knots, 10 miles visibility, clear skies, temperature 12, dew point 63008 on the altimeter. And the forecast, both here in Orlando and up in Charlotte, visual and meteorological conditions for the rest of the evening. So not anticipating any weather issues on that front. Let's take a look at the SIGMETs, just make sure nothing's out there that could affect us. Nothing in the SIGMET realm. AirMet-wise, just some turbulence as we go through Georgia and also South Carolina. Moderate turbulence from, 22 to 38,000. So we will be up in that at our cruise altitude at 350. So we'll be probably leave the seatbelt signs on for our entire flight today. Take a look at the TAF map really quickly just to get an idea. I mean, we had to divert, you know, going from Fort Lauderdale to Charlotte. You never really hope to do that, but it's a good idea. You know, this particular chart, it's going to give you an idea of what are the airport conditions around your route of flight. Where could you go if you had an issue? And thankfully, looks like weather-wise, no weather issues along our entire route of flight. Plenty of places to divert to if we need to this evening. And I'll just move the forecast forward a few hours just to double check that. You can see the conditions are holding steady until well after we're planning to arrive in Charlotte. So looks good. All right, well, I'm going to close that out. Let's go ahead and brief the rest of the flight. We got our weather all briefed up. I'll pull up the release here on the Navigraph plugin while the rest of the team's getting on board here. And so we are Flight 5801. We have swapped aircraft over to 4908 Charlie Sierra, which is the MD-83 here at Coastal. And fuel-wise, we are planning 15,900 pounds of fuel. We do have 15,850 on board. I'm going to go ahead and flip the seatbelt sign on now that the fuel truck has disconnected. So that's good. No takeoff alternates required today. Special airport information, nothing here. MEL items, there's nothing deferred on this aircraft. Let's double check on the tablet here just to make sure there's nothing showing wrong here. Let's see. Looks like it's showing hydraulic right engine pump deferred. I don't remember. Let me double check on the Coastal Airways logbooks. I don't believe that's supposed to be deferred. I will double check here. Stand by. So on our Discord channel, we do have, we keep track of each aircraft here at Coastal and what's going on with that aircraft. It's almost like a logbook. So I'm checking that on my screen here really quickly just to make sure we're not showing that still deferred. Looks like, I'm looking at, yeah, the last thing we had was a landing gear failing to retract. That was repaired. I think that was up in Chicago, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I do not see anything. Yeah, it's a clean ship. Thanks, Jason. That's what I thought. So let me get that cleared out here. I think we can just request. I think you can request have maintenance come out, and they should be able to clear it out. But see, this is why it's important to check the MEL items, to check your maintenance here on the EFB and the Mad Dog, because I haven't flown this particular tail number in a very long time. It's been getting used on other flights this summer, and obviously there's some weird things deferred in here. So and there it is, repair. So that was just a right engine driven hydraulic pump. It has been repaired, so we can make sure this is up to speed with what our logbooks reflect here at Coastal Airways. Obviously, that's not synced with each of our downloaded aircraft on our computer. You got to make sure you keep it up to date on your own. So I'm just gonna make sure this clears. While we're waiting on that, NOTAM wise, nothing that should affect us here today. Like I said, they're departing to the north, 36 left, and same up in Charlotte. We'll plan to land on the east side of the airport at runway. It's 36 right. We're parking at the FBO on the east side of the airfield there. Also, weather-wise, we know that was good. Let's take a look at the taxi airport diagram while we're waiting on this maintenance item to clear out. So going to 36 left, it's going to be a really short taxi. More than likely, we'll make a right-hand turn out. Right-hand turn on Alpha. Left-hand turn Bravo 10 to 36 left. One threat here is that we would miss Bravo 10. You continue south on Alpha to that southwest side of the ramp and airport. We don't want to do that, so we'll be heads up. We'll make sure we start both engines at the gate since it's a short taxi. Give the engines plenty of time to warm up. And once we get to 36 left, 12,004 feet of runway available. It's dry conditions today. Standard abort criteria, so below 80 knots, we'll reject the takeoff for a variety of reasons. At or above 80 knots, only for engine fire, severe engine damage, or the inability of the aircraft to get or stay airborne. Performance-wise, we do have our we're planning flaps to be set at 4. We have that set in all the takeoff condition and the flap takeoff selector over there. And our airspeeds for takeoff, our V speeds are 132, 138, and 147 for DV2, which is set. Still hasn't. I guess they're still working on the clearing that engine-driven hydraulic pump. We're not going anywhere till that's updated here on this EFB either. So take our time with this brief, I suppose. Yeah, so if we do lose an engine once after V1, we're just going to go straight out 3,000 feet back around to land here at Orlando. Plenty of runway options available for that. We'll work out the checklist. Weather's great, so that helps. Our clearance, we did get a clearance from Jacksonville Center, who's operating, handling all ground operations here at Orlando right now. And we're squawking 6725 in our transponder, and we're clear to Orlando as filed. Climb via the Faith 3 departure SID. So that has us with a top altitude. Oops, sorry. Hold up. Pull that back up. Top altitude off of 36 left is at 16,000 feet, so that is set. And after that, 36 left, climb on a heading of 005, which is set to 600 feet. Then direct Coyote at or above 2,300 feet. Then it's Ears at or above 3,000. Buffy, Faith at or above 14,000. Mid to Bog at or above 16,000, which is showing here. Then we have Bikini, Themon, Viap, and then to Checker, which begins our Stalker 3 arrival into Charlotte. So at Checker we have, after that, Chevy, Corvette, Flag, Finish, Stock Car. We'll check the speeds and altitudes before we begin our descent. Fiber. Let's see, where are we here? Yeah, that's right. This is where it splits off. So we're planning to land on 36 right, more than likely. So this little box over here on the left will have our next few fixes. So Stock Car, Fiber, Timer, Terry, Gate, and then vectors. Total distance we're showing in the flight management computer is 441 nautical miles, and on our release we were planned at a
1341 Jackson,
total of 450, so that's close.
Right 7
Looks
departure,
good.
correct transition as filed, maintain 4,000, squawk 557.
Automation level on departure at 400. Hope this, sure hope this clears. It's been a few minutes now, it says requested, so.
1341, we're back, correct information.
Automation wise, we'll transition over to nav mode, arm nav mode at 400 feet AGL, and then VNAV at our flat protraction at 1000 AGL. And we'll speed up and climb on out of here. Clean maneuvering speed today is going to be 222 knots, so we'll keep that in mind as we're cleaning up and make sure we respect that. Let's see. Transition altitude, like I said, is going to be flight level 180. Anything? Sean's saying, do you know if you fly over Charlotte Motor Speedway? I do not. Honestly, I am not extremely familiar with the Charlotte area, so I don't even. I'd have to go Google how close the speedway is to the airport, honestly. So, but I guess they're still boarding in the back. Hopefully we can. I'm hoping we'll get this maintenance cleared here quickly. So Jason or Sean or anyone else on chat, do y'all know how long it typically takes for something like this to clear? Is there anything else I need to do? Or do I just need to wait and it'll... I feel like typically these things are cleared by now. So that's the only... Tested okay, repaired, deferred. Yeah, I guess I hope it's not going to try to simulate like you gotta wait hours for the mechanics to replace that component. So, well, we're not going anywhere until that's fixed. Yeah, let me hop on over there, Jason. I'll head on to the in-flight or the, I guess, live stream channel. And yes, I'm over there now, Jason, on Discord, so love to have you hop on. I tried to have everything set up so we could get out of here quickly, but obviously this is wasn't expecting this one here. So well, while we're waiting, I can talk a little bit about what happened on that last flight. So if you go back and watch the live stream of the flight out of Fort Lauderdale, we were heading up to Charlotte. You know, you use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out in flight sim like this, and had some frame rate issues that kind of like right there, and the mouse moved over some of these levers in the center console, and it actually flipped the cabin pressure controller down to manual mode, and the outflow valve was left partially open, enough to where the aircraft wasn't able to maintain cabin pressure below 10,000 feet. So that's why when we got up to about flight level 280, almost 290, the cabin altitude had reached 10,000 feet. At that point, we got the master warning for cabin altitude, and before we could get below 14,000 feet above sea level, the cabin raised up to that level, dropped the masks in the back, and at that point, we had to divert. So we came in here to Orlando, so the mechanics could put the masks back in the ceiling, replace the oxygen generators where those had been used, and so we're over here on this MD-83 and just waiting on it to be repaired here, it looks like. So Jason, did you just hop on?
Service terminated for
yeah, can you hear me right?
Yeah, absolutely. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. So a couple things. Go to your the Mad Dog Load Manager.
Okay, let me go check that out.
Yeah, it'll be on your desktop somewhere.
All right. Yeah, let me do it this way. All right, I'll check that out.
I'm not looking at your stream because I can't mute it for some reason.
No problem. No problem.
I don't know why. I'm on my iPad, so I can't. I don't know why I can't mute it. It'd be nice if I could.
Runway 25 right at Whiskey. Taxi via Whiskey.
Load man, there it is. The Fly Mad Dog X Load Manager. Okay.
I'm gonna try to open this up.
We'll go ahead and flip on the APU while we're waiting on this.
Got that load manager pulled up or not yet?
Yeah, it was loading. Let's see. It's up now. Yes.
Okay. I can look on the screen. If you go on the stream, I mean, if you go to the maintenance section of it.
All right. Okay, yep, I see the... Okay, I can click fix on there for this right engine driven hydraulic pump.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll click that. Okay, it says nil now, and I can click the check mark to save and exit.
Yeah, try that. Let's see if it syncs with your aircraft.
Yeah, that'd be... Yeah, it's gone. Thank you so much. That saved us a lot of time. Because I was like, usually that clears within a minute or two, you know, when you click something on the EFB. So, thank you. Saves a lot of time.
Yeah, cool. And then also when you land, if you do your like before you jump in the jet, do your weekly inspections on it.
All right.
On the load manager first, because then it'll clear all those deferred.
Sounds good. Yeah, I have not flown this plane in a long time. So.
Yeah, this is August.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, yeah.
No doubt. Okay, man. I'm gonna jump back on the stream.
All right, sounds good. I'll hop back in here once we get above 10,000. So.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
All right, so that's Jason, our CEO here at Coastal, and obviously you can see he takes great care of us, and certainly appreciate that. I'm going to mute myself on here, and well, let's hop back on. I think we have everyone on board. Looks like the doors were all closed. We were just firing up the APU really quickly, so we can go ahead and switch over to auxiliary power unit power. Get that on, take the external power off the system, and actually go ahead and disconnect it too. Yeah, that's because I haven't built the GSX profile for this parking spot yet. Alright, there we got our air on. Okay, so I think that's all I have for the brief. Do y'all have any questions? If you do, go ahead and speak up in chat. As always, you're a part of the crew, so go ahead and shut this door and get the jump seat out for you all. There you go. If you see anything, you're part of the crew, please speak up, and appreciate your help. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for our engine start and do the before start check. We'll go ahead and get everything started setting up. I got to be careful with these mouse wheels because it operates a lot of switches on this aircraft. and it leaves them in whatever position you roll the mouse wheel to, as we found out on the last flight. So I'm going to switch over to, we'll use System A in this one. And we do not have any fuel in the center tanks. Yep, that is correct. The aux tanks, so let's go ahead and flip on all of those. And let's go ahead and do the before start check. So zero fuel weight is set, takeoff condition computer is set, stabilizer trim set, flap takeoff selector set, airspeed bugs and TRP. Hold up, I need to turn off ART since we're flexing. That's why you do these checklists. Airspeed bugs and TRP set, fuel pumps, or fuel and pumps, 15,850 pounds on board. We're planning 15.9, and pumps on. Doors closed, hydraulics on high. Before start check complete, let's take a quick look at the outside of the airplane here. You can hear that APU running. I don't have the special sound packs yet, Jason, like you do, but I think you'd said there's another one getting ready to come out, so I'll probably pick that one up when it comes out. But beautiful aircraft. We have the sun starting to set here in Florida, so should be a beautiful flight. Well, let's go ahead and start. We'll start 2 then 1 and get rolling. So here we go. I did not want to do that. Hold up. There we go. Starting 2 then 1.
Fokker 1341, radar contact, altitude.
President 1000, water 1341.
Then 2. Oil pressure.
Fokker 1341, climb maintain 111,000.
There's max motor rate 20%.
Fokker 1341.
And fuel flow EGT.
Right direct, correct, 1341.
Alright, 40%. That's our starter cutout. And EGT's rolling back. That's good. And your parameters look good. Let's go ahead and start 1. And I'll restart our timer over here. And 2. Oil pressure. Just waiting on that max motoring at 20% into, then we'll introduce the fuel. Alright, there it is. Fuel flow EGT. Things looking good so far. Here comes our 40%. Alright, let's get the starter cutouts. And there's our EGT rollback. Engine is looking nice and stabilized. Alright, let's go through our after start flows really quickly. Check those engine generators, make sure everything looks good. Yep. Quick check here. Flip these off, get the APU off. Don't need to be burning that fuel anymore. Ignition off for right now. I'll get that on before we take the runway. Get some air back in the cabin.
Fokker 1341, climb maintain
Go.
level
We go and get our
270.
flaps set to
1341.
4. Let's check our flight controls. Looks good. Take this off. Arm the spoiler, speed brake. We go to TIRA in this Coastal. Get that on. Get the T on the auto brakes set. Okay, let's do the before taxi check. Air conditioning panel set. Pitot heat and ignition on. Ignition is off, like I just briefed. Anti-ice, standard engine instruments check. Flight controls free. Flaps and slats 4.0 TO set. Transponder TARA pneumatic crossfeed closed. Before taxi check completes. Alright, so we are clear on the right. I'm going to turn on track IR really quickly. Just so it's a little easier to taxi with that on. There we go, I've activated it. Alright, here we go. Turn my keyboard out of the way. Alright, I'm not going to turn to the left, but it looks like we're clear left, clear right. Here we go. Right. So I can only master caution. We're showing as the art in op, which is associated with what we want. This reflection. Orlando, or Jack Center, Riptide 5801 on the ground, Orlando, ready to taxi from signature with Juliet.
Riptide 5801 or Jack Center, runway 36 left, taxi via Alpha Bravo 10.
Runway 36 left, taxi via Alpha Bravo 10, Riptide 5801. All right, as briefed, Alpha Bravo 10, we'll just be aware of that threat of continuing past Bravo 10. So it looks like we're clear on the left as we're heading out to the taxiway, and clear on the right. I think we're clear of that vehicle now. In fact, I know we are, so here we go. Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty having the sunset like this. A little dusk flight. So one side note, flight simulator add-on. I did buy the airport lights add-on that's available in Microsoft Flight Simulator Marketplace. So it looks like it's particularly noticeable at night, but you can see I think the taxiway lights, edge lights, and other things are kind of updated. So that is something that you might notice, may or may not notice, but I think it'll be nighttime when we get to Charlotte, so we'll get a good view of what that looks like exactly as we're coming in. All right, so we'll be taking the next left. It looks final, looks clear. Go ahead and get our ignition back on for us and check our takeoff configuration. Yep, nothing blaring. Go ahead and do the takeoff before takeoff check. Takeoff config checked. Ignition selector is A. Altimeters set, and ABS and spoilers are armed. Before takeoff check complete. Jack Center, Riptide 5801, holding short runway 36 left.
Riptide 5801, RNF Coyote, runway 36 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Coyote, runway 36 left, clear for takeoff. Riptide 5801. Alright. Alright, 36 left is verified on the pavement there. Final is clear. I'm going to go ahead and flip on the lights. One of the reasons I delayed there a second before I spoke with the controller is when they tell you RNAV to affix, you need to verify it in your FMS before you read it back. So I was making sure we showed Coyote in the as our first leg. Alrighty. Yep, 36 left is definitely verified on the pavement also. You can see some of those runway centerline lights updated through that Marketplace add-on. Alright, 36 left is verified. I have flight controls. Here we go. RNAV to Coyote. And set thrust. Thrust set. Clamp. $80 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Nav mode.
Riptide 5801, radar contacts altitude.
Riptide 5801, 1100, climbing via the Fate 3.
Roger.
Alright, let's do climb thrust. VNav. Lower that pitch down to about 10 degrees. Start accelerating. Alright, flaps to up. Like we said, 222 is our clean maneuvering speed, so at that point we'll go ahead and get the leading edge devices back in. Actually, I want to get the data here on our display just so I can see any altitude restrictions. They gotta be at about 3,000 at ears. We're gonna do that, no problem. I gotta admit, I don't like like having the flight director on like this with the flight director up at 15 degrees and I'm here at 10, but not really sure. Right, there we go. Flaps up all the way. And let's go ahead and flip the autopilot to on. There we go. And do our after takeoff check really quickly. So we're following our speed restriction. There we go. Past that to 230, and we're accelerating now to 250. That in. Make sure I don't click anything I don't want to click this time. There we go. I'm leaving the mouse wheel alone. I'm just going to use the track IR this time. I do not want to cause a pressurization issue again. Just be careful on this plane with your mouse wheel, let me tell you. Learn that firsthand. Turn the ART off, or I mean back to auto. Alright, there we go. Alright.
Type 5801, climb maintain level 350.
Climb maintain flight level 350. Type 5801. Alright. 350 sets. And I'm sorry, let's get those hydraulic pumps. No, got that. Perfect. Oh wow, look at the sun on the lakes. It's beautiful.
Good evening. Clear to the Newcastle Airport, Melbourne 7 departure. Radar vectors as filed. Maintain 5,000 and squawk 6203.
Yeah, cabin is climbing at a normal rate. That's good. And it's kind of tricky sometimes to tell exactly where that lever is, but you can see it's up. It's in the auto position. And you can see the outflow valve, that wheel there moving, which is good.
Correct.
So.
Melbourne winds 280 at 7, altimeter 3001. Expect runway 27 left. Device ready for taxi.
Alright, coming up on 10,000 feet. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get the bells in the back, and we'll leave the sun off for now. And let me double. I'm gonna look really closely at this pressurization. Yep, it's climbing at just about 100 feet per minute, which is good, and it's looking excellent. So. Alright, let's go ahead and do our climb check. Ignition is off. APU off. Fuel pumps are set. Spoilers and ABS disarm off. Flaps and slats up. Lights out. Stowed. Climb check complete. Alright, I want to hop back on the Discord channel here really quickly. Let me freeze the track IR. I don't need that for the moment. And we definitely, a lot has happened since Friday night also in Major League Soccer, so maybe cover a little bit of that. Since this is the last Major League Soccer flight charter I'm probably going to get to stream this year. I know, unless Orlando City continues to run in the playoff, but I'm banking on them getting eliminated pretty early because they're playing Nashville SC, which is my favorite team since I live in the Nashville area. But they're playing Nashville SC in the first round of the playoffs, so I'm hoping it'll be a quick exit for Orlando City. That would mean Nashville advances, but we will see. I'll pull up our Oops. Pull up our release here really quickly. Just heard a noise. I don't know if that was. Oh, Jason's hopping out of the chat. Yep. Sorry. Got to make sure we get our landing lights and that sort of stuff off at 50180. Jason could probably answer the question about the wing landing lights. I don't know if retracting those, or I feel like I've gotten points deducted from me on the ACARs. I thought it was when I had retracted those a little too early before, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was something else. All right, so Marco's already saying, after the MLS season, what's your plan? Back to regular coastal flights? I'm actually operating a lot of hockey charter flights. So the Friday night this week will actually be, I'm actually scheduled to operate a Florida Panthers flight. They're heading up to Boston, so I will more than likely stream that flight, Fort Lauderdale up to Boston. And quite honestly, I'm hoping for some horrible weather. I love, I like having crazy stuff happen in the sim. I would not want it in real life. Like that pressurization, no. You would not want that in real life.
I'd like to stop at flow level 250.
Fokker 1341.
I'll be honest though, like if the cabin was climbing at 2,000 feet per minute, you'd probably feel something a little funny in your ears, you know? Like something's not right here. So there, it wouldn't have been as comfortable as what we experienced from the comfort of our own homes in front of a computer screen. So, or a TV if you, or your smartphone, wherever you happen to be watching. But Marco, yeah, I definitely still have some charters on the schedule. So there we are through flight 180. I'll go ahead and get our lights configured for that, and then we get our altimeters to 2992. Just being extra careful with this mouse wheel today after Friday's experience. Alright, so there's 2992 on the primary altimeter, standby altimeter. 2992 is cross-checked. Jason's saying we are getting snow up in Canada this week. 10 inches tomorrow's flight into Calgary. Oh, that's exciting. See, that's what I love to hear, Jason. I'm excited about the hockey charters into Canada. So, Jason, I believe that will be one of the flights that you stream to your. I don't know if it's technically Patreon members, is it? Or I know you have a premium membership. Is that correct? So to where people would be able to watch that flight into Calgary with all the snow. Is that correct? Personally, I would like to tune in. I just need to figure out the way to do that. That sounds exciting. Would love to see that.
Jet 755, runway 27 left, taxi via Tango.
Let's see how everything's looking out the first officer's side here. Alright, looking good. We're just going by Ormond Beach. It looked like Daytona Beach. I saw Ormond Beach on my, yeah, Ormond Beach, I think. Stars are starting to come out. Yep, there's Daytona Beach. You can see the speedway right off the super speedway right off the runways there. East-west runway at Daytona Beach. So yep, Ormond Beach is out there too. All right, Jason is saying all members YouTube and Patreon on the Flight Sim Broadcasting Network. Yeah, definitely go check that out, everyone. That's gonna be a fun flight tomorrow into Calgary. Plenty of snow. Absolute MD-83 with snow. I agree, Marcus. Right, that's gonna be fun.
07, runway 27 left, clear for takeoff.
Right, you can see our EGT on the left on the #1 engine is flashing right now. It's switching some of those climb parameters. It should be temporary. It should be reducing here in a minute. Now you can see the #2 is also flashing. but keep an eye on that. Make sure it gets back down into the normal operating range here soon. Let's zoom in on it. Which, gotta be careful with my mouse wheel, right? You can see it's in the amber band now, and so thankfully it flashes so it gets your attention. Like, hey, you don't want it to be staying here for long term, right? We're going up to flight level 350 today. Let's see, what's the first fix where our release gives us some good fuel numbers? Let's check that really quickly. Looks like Femon would be the first one. So that's the fix that's after Bikini. The top of climb we were showing we'd have 11,600 pounds. And at Femon it would be 11,000. So if we go to the progress page, we can see Femon's showing 12,000 pounds. So I mean, we're looking pretty good. Looking about potentially 1,000 pounds ahead of schedule.
3004 to discretion 1000, Walker 1341.
Pro Flight 573, Miami Center's offline, radar service terminated, frequency change of group, good night.
I'm going to go ahead and get some of the panel lights up a little bit.
Pro Flight 573, thank you for your service, good night, sir. See ya.
Since we're likely going to be, it's going to be getting dark on us during this flight. Go ahead and dim some of the
heavy radar contacts, altitude.
flight instruments here, but we don't want to dim it too much yet because we still need to be able to see them.
755, turn right direct to Missoula, climb maintain level 410.
You see, there are a lot of lights to, a lot of brightness knobs to manipulate here in the MD-83 cockpit, just to get all the screens where you want them to be, so they're not blinding you when it does get dark. But I don't want to get too low, like I said. And then right here under the glare shield, you got another one that you can manipulate. See, there's just the backlight on the knobs and selectors, and then I'll dim these just a smidge. How can I mute YouTube on the iPad? Jason, that's a great question. I actually don't know that I've ever watched YouTube on an iPad. I do not even have an iPad right now. So my wife has one, but I never use it. But on my iPhone, if I tap the screen, there's a volume button. And I can just touch that volume button. And it will mute it. Let's take a look at our... Alright, the cabin is climbing now. It's at about 900 feet per minute. We're up Delta P, so differential pressures about 7.8 right now. 1,000 feet to level off, about 7,000 feet of cabin altitude. So you can see that's quite a bit different than when we were climbing through flight level 290 the other night. Cabin was already at 10,000 feet, climbing at 2,000 feet per minute plus at one point in the descent, and a lot better. Alright, there we are. VNAV level. We are leveling off at our cruise altitude 350. Pressurization is holding steady, which is good. You can see that cabin rate is coming down now. So no pressurization issues at this time, thankfully. Very thankful for that. We'll go ahead and switch over to cruise thrust mode. And you can see our EGTs are back in the normal operating range, looking good. So we're at 12,450 pounds at top of climb. We were planning top of climb at 11.6. So that's showing about 850 pounds of extra fuel. We leveled off. Go ahead and switch this over to night mode. There we go. I think y'all will still be able to see that alright at home, but it's going to start getting dark on us here soon. All right, so we'll switch over to the cruise page on the first officers. MC, and we're gonna be a pretty short flight here today. I don't think we're gonna have very long to our top of descent. I can probably be able to see it here, but yeah, it's just about 200 nautical miles to top of descent, so it's not gonna be very long at all. But I think we're looking good here. Just want to make sure pressurization's good again. See, I'm kind of paranoid about pressurization now on this plane after that experience in the last flight. But we're looking good. All right. Here's the view of Messi and the others. We're looking out over the Atlantic Ocean off the left wing, and then there's Florida and the sunset on the lakes.
Over 13, put it on a slow level 25.
Yeah, that's pretty. Very cool. Let's check out the Major League Soccer standings here really quickly.
We have the weather NOTAMs in Savannah. We'd like to put the...
Kind of give everyone an update on what's happened there since this is the last Major League Soccer
transition
charter of the season.
Quaker 1341, you can expect
I get to the right website first.
Roger.
And I will pull it up. Alright, so here we go. Major League Soccer. So this is MLSsoccer.com. Looks like I have to accept cookies, of course. You always gotta accept cookies this day and age. But
Jet 755 Heavy, Miami Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night, Will. We'll see ya.
Final final results in the matches last night. I think we can pull them up here in the full matches. So
Jet 755 Miami Center is offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night, Will. We'll see ya.
But basically, yesterday is what was called Decision Day. So all of the Eastern Conference teams played at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then all of the Western Conference teams kicked off at the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All played at the exact same time. You can see the charter that we're simulating was for Miami up to Charlotte. And Miami actually ended up losing this game. Kind of a...
Jet 755 Miami Center's offline. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Good night.
Kind of incredible, but I think I'm just going to do this. I'm going to mute the highlights and try to show you all some of the craziness of what happened in that match, because there was some... Lionel Messi did play, as you can see. He was over there on the right wing. Over 60,000 people in attendance at the game because they play at the NFL Stadium in Charlotte. But
1543 Jack Center, runway 35 left, taxi via Echo 1, Echo Golf.
Echo 1, Echo Golf.
I don't remember the exact time. I did see the highlights of this match earlier today, but there was a pretty crazy save the goalie made, not once, but twice in this game to allow Charlotte to have a chance. And Charlotte, I believe they had to win this game in order to ensure that they would get to be in the playoffs. Looks like Miami thought they had scored there, but
Jet 755,
defender
closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Good night,
Miami
Willie.
player offside, so goal did not count. He was offside. So here comes Charlotte back down the field. Let's see here. What is going on? Oh, what a pass. What a finish. Look at that. Look at the celebration. Oh my goodness. I think the celebration might have been better than the goal. Watch this. I hope they show it again. That was incredible. All right, here we go. But nice little touch over the keeper's left hand, and please show that celebration again. I don't know if they will. And what? I don't even know who that goalie is. It's definitely not Callender, the typical starter. Free kick just barely to the left of the net. Wow. Yeah, I think Soderski, he ends up getting injured in this match from what I saw in the Major League Soccer recap show, which it was a long show today. Typically that show is about 30 minutes. It was an hour and 20 minutes. For those of you that do get the MLS season pass on Apple TV, it's a really good if you like watching Major League Soccer. They have a lot of programming and documentaries and every game. All right, so we're at stoppage time of the first half now. Looks like, ooh, wow. That's a so-so shot, but it's got to be about the last thing. Nope, here comes Miami, trying to get a late equalizer in the first half. Campana's up there at the top of the box. Ooh. Hey, it was on target. Was it Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you know, so it's worth a shot. There we are, halftime. Charlotte is leading the game 1-0. So Messi and the boys from Inter Miami just playing for pride at this point. They had already been eliminated. Charlotte has everything to play for. All right, there's Messi. He's basically beginning his exhibition tour at this point until the next season starts. All right, so second half. Charlotte is less than 45 minutes away. Oh my goodness, what a pass. Chipped the keeper. Messi just chipped the keeper, but something's not right. He's offside. He is offside. Middle of the field, look at that. He's off by a good 5 feet, I'd say. And so that didn't count. So obviously Messi and company are playing for pride here. There's Messi again in the box. Tries a slick little pass.
Kirby and descend to maintain 3,000.
But
Right, direct Kirby,
somebody's down, face down on the grounds. One thing in soccer is you never know whether they're faking it or not. What just happened? He's just rolling on this. Did he mess his ankle up? Ooh, I hope he didn't tear an Achilles heel or something. Oh, man. All right, here's Messi. Free kick outside the box. He's dangerous. Oh, my goodness. It was going in. The goalie got a hand to it. Bounced off the underside of the crossbar and stayed out of the net to keep Charlotte's playoff hopes alive. Look at that save. And I do not know how Messi got that ball around all those people and toward the open net. Incredible. But here we go again. Charlotte is pressing. One more goal. Almost, well, it never is a guarantee against Messi when you have time on the clock, but it would at least help. Is that Soderski? Ooh, that looked ugly. Kind of looked like he got his foot kind of caught awkwardly in the keeper there. So this might have been when he was injured. I saw he's injured. He's one of their top players at Charlotte, so that's not good. All right, little combination play here from Inter Miami on the attack. And a great cross, great header. Oh my goodness, that was a fingertip save. Those are like cat-like reflexes. That's like hockey goalie stuff right there. That is insane. Yeah, this Charlotte goalie is on fire. He wants to make it to the playoffs. Look at that. And those soccer goals are no joke. I mean, you got a lot of ground to cover. Yeah, that was Jordi Alba with the great pass across right at head level for that attacker. I didn't see who that was. So stoppage time.
America 1543 RNF, go home, runway 35 left.
Goalie stops it again.
Calm.
So at least Miami wasn't rolling over. I mean, they were playing for pride. They were trying to go out in a respectable fashion here in this 2023 MLS season. So another corner kick. And I don't know what just happened there. This is like pinball in the box. Charlotte probably saw their playoff hopes flashing before their eyes in that sequence. That's incredible. All right, into the game. Oh, it's getting a little chippy out there. Cards are flying. Mal Miller is getting angry. More chippiness in the corner, and it looks like the ref is raising his arms. There's 3 blows to the whistle, and Charlotte The crowd is going wild. Drinks are flying in the air. They are advancing to the Major League Soccer playoffs, and I believe they are actually in the wild card spot. So let's go take a look at the standings really quickly, see exactly what's happening here. So with that win against Miami, which you saw, it was not a sure deal even in the dying embers of the match. Charlotte clinches a spot in the wild card against Red Bull New York. So Red Bull New York will be hosting in Harrison, New Jersey at Red Bull Arena on Wednesday night. And Charlotte, sounds like they might be without their star striker, Swiderski. But we'll check on this, talk about this briefly a little bit more after I check our fuel. We just went past VIAP. We have 11,450 pounds, and we were planning to have 10,400, so we're 1,000 pounds over. Look at that beautiful sunset out there. So looking good. Still have a little ways to go before our top of descent, so a little bit of time left to close out this Major League Soccer charters with Inter Miami. So let's hop back to the table.
Can you hear me?
Jason, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh, doing well. Doing well. Just catching up on all the excitement that happened in the Inter Miami Charlotte game. I heard it was a pretty exciting match. I think especially
it looked pretty good. I was
for,
watching your highlights.
I think especially for the Charlotte fans, because I think it required other teams to do certain things too in order for them to make the playoffs, but they had to win, you know? And it was a tight game. You saw how many times Miami almost scored, and Charlotte's goalie was standing on his head. It looks like even in like the 3rd minute of stoppage time at the end of the game, Miami was having like multiple chances where they could almost score. It's almost like, you know, in hockey when the goalie's pulled and the team's just storming your net. It's just So I gotta say, I respect Miami for showing up in that game, because they really weren't playing for anything since they were eliminated. They were just playing for pride. Hey, they went out with a bang, even though they lost. It was a good effort.
It was, they played pretty good. Looked at the Rangers. The Rangers showed up yesterday.
Oh yeah, so tell us about that game. I'd love to hear. So they won against the Kraken, right?
Yeah, when they showed up, I mean they were playing their game. Got clogging up the neutral zone again, and got caught a couple times. Kind of their old habits started creeping in, but for the most part, they were playing good hockey. So
can you elaborate on what the older habits are for those of us that don't get to watch as many of the Rangers hockey games?
Yeah, so under Gallant, who was the old coach, he was really hands off in terms of coaching. He let the players he had his own system, but it wasn't really. He wasn't an X and O guys. You know what I mean? He everybody would be in. So like when you would dump the puck, the Rangers would skate in. Like all 3 forwards would come in. You'd have 2 wingers and a center, and then the defense would get involved too. The problem with that is, well, if the other team recovers, and gets the puck, guess what? You've trapped 3, maybe your 2 defensemen as well. So you're skating all over the ice.
Oh yeah.
And the Rangers, they like to do a lot of stupid east-west passing.
And
for those of you who are watching, that means the puck going from left to right instead of north. North, we like to call hockey. So you always want to push the puck forward and not east to west. You always want to go north with the puck. Even if you don't have a play, you've got to get it deep in the other opponent's zone, even if it's a dumping, right? And the Rangers are notorious for doing these stupid east and west passing, and that traps everybody deep, because that just gets intercepted. and then you have a turnover, and then it leads to on-man rushes or whatever. Anyway, that's the Rangers' old game where they would do this stupid east to west crap, and then they'd get trapped.
Yeah.
And then they would be skating and burning out and running out of gas half game because they're just chasing the puck everywhere. Anyway, yesterday was good to see. They started clogging the neutral zone. They played they're trying to play they're playing a 1-2. Let's see here. Yeah, they're playing a 1-3-1. So they have a one guy.
1-3-1.
1-2-1. No,
Okay,
1-2-1.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
You have two. Let's see here. You have three forwards. Wait a minute. You have three forwards and two defensemen.
Okay.
Nice. It's 5. So they played a 1. Yeah, they play a 1-3-1. So.
Walker
That's their
1341
new.
cross Turby above
That's their
2500.
new
Cleared
system,
our
and
runway
I think
1
it
above
works
Savannah.
really good.
Turby out about
Yeah.
2500, clear on that runway 1 Savannah, Walker 1341.
Are you familiar with the 1-3-1?
I mean, I never played hockey. I know what it would look like on the ice. I don't know the strategies behind it more than just being a fan that watches. So, because you played some hockey, right?
Yeah, in college.
Yeah, there you go, man. So,
yeah, 1-3-1 is you have one. The center is in the offensive zone forechecking.
Okay.
Right, but kind of hanging back, and then you have 3 in the neutral zone. 1 of your defensemen's in your zone. So it forces the opponent, when they get into the neutral zone,
Walker 1341.
the 3 players in the neutral zone
Walker
converge,
1341,
and it forces them
no
to
traffic
dump
observed
the puck.
between you and the Savannah Airport. Radar
And then
service
who's back there
terminated.
to get it?
Change
Your
route, good night.
defenseman and goalie.
All right, so we'll change.
So that's it's a really smart game because you're not chasing all over the ice.
right.
You know, if you play it right, you're not burning you're not burning gas. You're just basically waiting for them to dump the puck, and then you recover, and then you go again for a rush. But you know, and when they do that, they do good. But the problem is the old habits come. You know, I saw like 4 guys in the zone. I'm like, oh, you guys are going to get stuck.
Yeah.
You know, I saw like that a few
Working
times.
your tails
like,
off
oh,
at that point.
get back.
Yeah.
And I was a goaltender in college, so I was always wanting my team back. You know, it's like no, play defense first, get in front of pucks. You know, play defense first, and then we can play offense. But so I'm always screaming, get back. You're gonna get trapped. Anyway.
And obviously at college, you're not even going to be in the good you'll be in good shape, but you're not going to be in NHL shape more than likely, you know. So because those NHL guys are like top of the cream of the crop, you know, world class athletes. So
that's right.
And if they're getting tired,
oh, dude,
most of us don't stand a chance.
Nope. But you can see that when you're skating all over the ice. So I think a good test is going to be tomorrow at Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh no, they actually play Tuesday, so I fly them tomorrow in the snowstorm.
See, I want to watch that. So
you weren't a member, right?
I thought I had joined the Patreon in the past.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Will it? So do I need to go to the Patreon website to see those videos, or should it show up in the YouTube channel? Both. Okay.
Yep. So they're on Patreon and YouTube. So you just, Anyway, you're good to go, man. But it's. I mean, I just looked at the forecast. They say anywhere from 6 to 10 inches.
Wow.
And the snow starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's supposed to go all day, so it should be loads of fun. And Edmonton is no better the next day. So we fly tomorrow to Calgary, and then fly Edmonton on Tuesday night after the game.
Okay. And
then on Friday night, I'll stream from Edmonton and Vancouver. And that'll be a public stream, yeah. That'll be our normal time slot.
So you have a busy week ahead. So, it sounds like it'll be a fun week. Yeah, I think Sean just gave me a clue here with, he said if you are on Patreon, make sure your YouTube account is connected. Yeah, and I think that might be what I do not have, is my YouTube account connected to my Patreon. So because I might not be the only one that was having that, because I had joined the Patreon sometime last year. It was last hockey season, because I remember that's how I watched some of your Canadian tours back in February, I think it was, or
the minus 32 degrees when we got there. Where the heck was that? Winnipeg? It was cold. It was cold.
Yeah, and you're landing in Vancouver where you couldn't see the tip of the nose, basically. You're looking out there like, can't even see the windshield wiper.
That was a manually flown approach, too.
Yeah.
Riptide 5801,
that wasn't even on.
Go ahead for Riptide 5801.
Riptide 5801, descend via the Stalker 3 arrival, shout altimeter 3009er.
Send me the Stalker 3 arrival 3009er, Riptide 5801. Alright. Sorry about that. ATC was calling.
Oh, you're good, man. Yeah. You're good. Yeah, it's a long haul this week.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna, I don't know, it'll be a good time though. Especially with the snow. I hope you're excited about the snow.
I hope it not only snows, but I hope it just blizzards. That's what my hope is.
I'm gonna be tuning into that. Well, what time are you leaving?
Well, they're actually in real life. They're going to be leaving about Sean, 12. I think I saw. So I'll be leaving later in the evening. So I think I'm scheduled at like 9 p.m. my time.
Okay. Yeah, I might get to watch.
So pretty late.
I'm actually playing in. This is extremely low-level soccer, but adult amateur Monday Night League. So we have playoffs.
That's awesome.
So it's double elimination.
That's
so if we win the first game at 7, then we have a semifinal at 9. So, but you're not going to be getting to Calgary until like pretty late, right?
Well, what's that? Maybe it's an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
2-hour flight to Calgary. It's not that far away.
I might catch the landing even if we play 2 games tomorrow night, but I'll definitely watch the replay if I can't catch it live for sure. I'll be tuning in as soon as we wrap up that match. But if we lose at 7, then yeah, I'll definitely be able to watch.
Yeah. I mean, right now it's scheduled at 9, but that could, I might go earlier.
Yeah.
Just depends, really.
Well, while it's still fresh on my mind, we're getting sorta. I mean, so we were cleared to descend via the Stock Car 3 arrival. So I did set in 6,000 feet, which is our bottom altitude for the 3-6 right transition at gate. So 6,000 set. And we're actually coming up on checker now, so that's the first fix in this arrival. We do have the speed restriction to ascend via Mach number until intercepting 280 knots, maintain 280 knots until slowed by the star or assigned by ATC. So that's our initial speed restriction. And you can see, it looks like once we get to Corvette, they already just have 280 knots published. So we'll keep that in mind. Man, it's actually turned out to be a really nice time to be flying. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sunset. You can see the Appalachians out in the distance there. But yeah, well, yeah, that sounds exciting though. I hope it is a blizzard for you, because I know you can handle it. I know the Mad Dog can handle it, and I mean, the Rangers will probably just be resting up from all that skating the other night, so they'll be asleep. They won't even know you landed. It'd be so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So they'll wake up and step off the plane and it's 10 inches of snow. Welcome to Calgary, boys.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to land soft in snow, as you already know that. You
So,
want to plan it on the ground in snow.
yeah, I actually haven't gotten to fly in the snow a lot here in the sim. So, like, do they do a good job of modeling the braking action and that sort of thing in flight sim, or what's been your experience
Yeah,
with that?
I mean, even the rain, you can feel it. It's a little different.
Yeah,
So the snow, it's supposed to be simulated that the friction, right?
yeah,
The friction coefficient, I believe, is simulated here,
good.
which is yeah, it's cool.
'Cause obviously
So
that's,
listen to this. My son and I were walking home tonight, right?
uh-huh.
Just walking the dogs around, and we're walking, and it's at night, and he goes, "Look up, look up." So we look up, and I'm not kidding you. It looks like Morse code in the sky, right? And I'm talking
What?
40,000 feet, dude. It was like dash, 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 dash of light.
Huh?
And I'm like, what the? And I pull my phone out, like the flight radar app.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is, is this an aircraft? What is going on? So, I shoot up the app. There's nothing on the screen, no aircraft to even around the area. And I'm like, get your phone out and record this.
How high did it
So
look
he
like it
pulls his
was?
phone up. It's like 40,000 or higher.
Oh, wow.
And it's just dash, dash, and it's just lights of dashed lights. And it looks like Morse code in the air. Like somebody's, I don't know what the heck it was, right? So we get home, we tell my wife, I'm like, dude, that's something, what the heck? She's like, could be military. I'm like, I'm not the only one that saw this. I guarantee.
There's no way you're the only one.
No. I'm like, there's no way I'm the only one looking at this. My son and I are like, what the heck? She didn't even know what it is,
Yeah.
And she looks it up. It's Elon Musk's satellite got fired up.
Really? So it was
They
the
shot
engines?
they shot a satellite up tonight. They launched another satellite in the air.
And you could see it.
So
That's incredible.
I can see it going into the atmosphere, which is out of the atmosphere, and it was just disappeared. So they said that dashed line is the rocket.
Huh. Well, that's
That's what I
awesome.
said.
That's
I'm
a
like,
good
okay,
catch by your son.
well, yeah. I mean, he's like, what the heck is that? And I looked up. I'm like, that ain't no airliner. I guarantee you that. That was cool.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm guessing, we might be seeing more and more of that sort of stuff in the coming decades with all the, space flight becoming more privatized. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
I have not gotten to see anything cool like that yet, but
it was wild.
that's awesome though. What is that called? Is it Starlink? Is that his satellite network for? Yeah. It's like an internet provider, right? I think
something like that. Anyway, you fired another satellite up there.
Which that's really cool because even in where I live in Tennessee, there are areas where you can't get really good internet, and we're pretty populated in this part of the country. So I would imagine you get out west where it's in a remote area, it sure would be nice to have that internet service through the satellite system.
Yeah.
You really kind of need it in this day and age, especially if you're working any sort of computer work.
I hear that. You're getting close, top of the set.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and do a briefing here really quickly. We'll do one quick glance at our pressurization. Let me turn the backlights up a little bit here on the overhead. Oh, there we go. Now I can see it. Yeah, cabin, Sean said yes, Starlink is an internet service provider. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see. I think VATSIM is or was on at Charlotte. Yeah, they still are. So, wow, we're actually going to have... Wow, we're going to have pretty much full coverage the whole way. So Charlotte right now, information Quebec is current. Winds are 340 at 4, 10 miles clear, 10 degrees for the temp, 3009 on the meters, landing to the north. So 36 right is a runway that is usable. We'll plan on that. We'll request it if they don't give it to us, and I'll brief that up. Speeds are set. VRF 40 is at 127, and so V approach is going to be up at 132 with those light winds. All right, there's our top of descent. Oh no. Jack Center, Riptide 5801, vacating flight level 350.
Roger.
All right. That's a call out you're technically supposed to make per the AIM, but honestly in real life, very few people actually make it, but it just depends on the congestion on the frequency. All right. Well, let's go ahead and brief up the arrival and the approach. So we're heading to Chevy now. I guess I can pull up the Navigraph chart so y'all can see it too on the screen. I think the resolution's good enough to where you can see it. I'll zoom in a little bit. But we have Chevy, Corvette, 280 knots between 290 and 240. Yep. Flag, 280 knots between 230 and 210. Then finish, 280 knots between 230 and 16,000. Stock car, 270 knots between 190 and 12,000. And then it's after stock car, that's when we transition over here to fiber at 250 knots between 16 and 11. Timer between 11 and 8. Terry between 8 and 6,000, and then gate at 210 knots, 6,000 feet. Expect radar vectors after gate to 36 left or right, which we're planning. So I have the plate for 36 right, and 9th June 23, 11-8, ILS runway 36 right into Charlotte. Localizer 108.9er is set on both sides. 003 course inbound set on Hayo. At Hayo, our final approach fix, we should be at around 2,500 feet. The DA is 927 feet, and I have a DH set at 200. It looks like it'll be the visual. We'll back it up with this ILS, though, just for situational awareness. Touchdown zone elevation 727. We do have the pressurization set. And the MSA is 3,800 around the Charlotte VOR. If it is a full visual approach and they give us like a pattern altitude or ATC drops off, we'll just plan to go back around at 1,500 AGL, which is going to be 2,300 feet MSL. It's going to be pretty much straight in. So let's punch in the approach here on the loaded up in the FMS. Let's hop over here to those. So after the vectors, we have Sikdu, Hayu, Sikdu out above 3, Hayu out above 2,500, 36 right. And then that's the published mist there, which is probably going to be, it's a visual, so we'll just plan on that pattern or following ATC's instructions. So we'll probably do right traffic since it's on the far east side of the airport. Highest obstacle is, where's our arrow? There it is. It's all the way up here on the north side tower, 2,041 feet high. And looking for a PAPI on the right side. Alps 2 lighting. If we get to land, right hand turn off, and I believe we're parking right there where it says general aviation ramp, so that Delta 4 exit. I doubt we'll be able to stop by Delta 4. It's likely going to be maybe Delta 6. If so, then it's a right turn Delta, and we'll enter the ramp right there. It's that intersection between Delta 5 and Delta 4. And then that's all I have. Do you all have any questions? If so, go ahead and speak up in chat. If not, that's fine too. We're well on our way. Looks like our airspeed's holding steady at 280 knots now, which is what it should be per the star. And I'll pull up the legs page here so we can keep following it. We don't slow until it looks like stock car. That's our next fix where we slow a little bit down to 270. But It's all God. I'm gonna change the. There we go. At normal. I don't want it to just wanted to have our traffic below us too now since we're descending on the TCAS. All right. Well, that's it. So, Jason, I did want to thank you too for your help the other night with the craziness, all the pressurization. Sorry, I didn't see. I don't even have Cliff to blame on that one. That was me. You know, just mouse wheel,
Yeah, it happens.
frame rates, and
Yeah.
Captain Kabu actually
all good.
commented he did a really good job of bookmarking some of those critical points. And if you go right before, it's right before the one where he said, "Oh, you inadvertently clicked the pressure control and make it manual." You can see like a few seconds before that, the camera's like zooming in and out. And you start hearing all this like clicking and stuff, and I'm like, "Yep, that's it." So I remember. I actually remembered that because I was like, it was kind of stuttering on my computer, and I started hearing clicking noises, and I'm like, "That's not good." But
Yeah.
you might have seen. I asked him if there are any other. Maybe you know if there is there any other indication that your pressurization is in manual mode other than that knob or lever being in the down position, you know?
Yeah. Well, you can look at your. That's what's so cool about the MD-80. You can just look down at the pedestal,
Yeah.
and you could see where your outflow valve is. It's with the indicator.
Right. Yeah.
If you
right
just
over.
look at the indicator, you could just see where your outflow is. Is it open or closed? You know,
Right.
it's pretty.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, that's what's so cool about the MD-80. The 737, you don't have that. You have to look up to see where the valve is in the position. Yeah, but that is your indication that, you know, is your valve open or closed? There's a little kind of a metal arrow.
Yes, it's right
Do you
here.
see that thing?
Yeah, it's right. It's right.
That's
right there.
That's your indicator. So, yeah, I was watching it yesterday. I was watching it actually today because I was doing paperwork. I had to fill out the tech log, and then sure enough, I was watching. Did the same thing. I'm like, yep, that stinking. At least it was a controller. That'd cost us.
Oh, I know. That's the thing. Yeah. So I watched it over again. I watched it on Saturday too, and I was like, yeah, it was. I saw it move, and that mouse wheel zoom in out that thing that happened in the after takeoff, and yeah, at least it wasn't that component failed, and I guess we still had to replace the oxygen generators for all the guys that used it, which was only like 60 some odd people. So
yeah, everybody. Yeah, it's not a bad fix though. I looked at the maintenance manuals pretty quick.
And hey, I mean,
that's how you learn, right?
It can be I don't think I had technically, yeah, because we didn't do any emergency descents in the Mad Dog at that point in the initial training for this. So it was fun. Got to do it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
The plane will get down, that's for sure. So.
Oh yeah.
And your ears would be killing you. And that's the other thing I think I mentioned it earlier in this stream. Like if the cabin was climbing at over 2,000 feet per minute, you'd probably be like, something's not right. And you'd start looking around, you know? Obviously you can't tell when you're just sitting in front of a computer screen, but you'd be like, something's weird.
Something ain't right. Yeah, exactly.
But you'd hope, if they don't have that warning, like, you might be so like hypoxic by the time stuff's going on. If you didn't have the warning, that you would never catch it. You'd just pass out and be done.
Helios. There it is. I mean, Helios, a 737, 400, completely did the same thing.
Yeah.
They took off warning horn and. In the airplane, they threw a breaker, and that was the end of it.
Man, yeah, it's serious business when you when you're at high altitude, like being ready. And you know, if someone leaves the flight deck, like the other pilots you gotta have your oxygen mask on just in case, you know, because you can't chance it.
That's right. Nope. I mean, it's seconds.
Yeah.
That's why your quick action. The first thing you do is mask on, 100% oxygen, establish crew communication, and then that's your memory items, and then you do your maneuvers. But that's no joke.
Yeah. I do love how in X-Plane they would model the oxygen mask, you know. You'd hear it, you'd have
cool.
which I clicked on it. I clicked on this oxygen mask back here just to see, and I did it again. Even though I knew it wasn't modeled, but I was like, well, maybe they fixed it. Maybe they did it in the update or something, but it's fine. That's just kind of a fun thing. But it looks like that actually is a failure that's modeled on this plane, which is neat. I saw it in the deferred items.
Riptide 5801 shot, approach all flight radar service terminated, frequency change, approved, good night.
Riptide 5801, good night, thanks for the great ATC.
You're welcome, attention aircraft jacks are now closed, frequency change, approved, good night.
That was nice of him. He stayed on. That was really nice of him. It is so rare to have ATC at this hour of the night. And I don't blame him, because this is late. Or early, or whatever it is. I don't even know at this point. Alright, there we go. 22.8. We have a MEC2 message. Drag required. So we'll get some drag out. Yeah, we're... Sucker sped up. Slippery bird. Alright, 3009 on the altimeters. Let me go ahead and get that set. I'm actually gonna... Go through some of our flows here. Yeah, we're back on track now. I don't know if it's probably gonna make me put some more drag in again. What was that?
That's my alarm.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't have an alarm. I have dogs.
Alright, let me get these landing lights on. It's gonna ding me for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've gotta change my... So I have a chat overlay so I can see, you know, what's going on in that chat, but it's kind of more in the middle of the screen since my monitor upgrade. So I need to figure out I was trying to mess around with it and move it more to the side, but I'll do it later. Alright, let's do the descent check. Engine sync is off. Pressurization set and checked. Hydraulics, let's get those real quickly. We need to go to on and high. Yep, on and high. I'm going to go ahead and get this brake set up to medium. That way I only have to click it on when we get on approach. So hydraulics on and high. Altimeters 3009 set. Laying down airspeed bug set. Descent check completes.
Okay, my man. I'm gonna jump off the chat here. I'll jump off a voice. All
right, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jason.
We're all counting on you back here.
All right. See ya. All right, so we're right on profile here. It looks like we're just having to use these speed brakes to keep the airspeed in line with where we need to be. So 250 knots now here at Fiber. Looking good. Let me double check our air traffic control. We might have Charlotte. Looks like it's Charlotte ground that's online. So I'll get 121.19 standing by. We get to talk to them when we get on the ground. So we're going to be on our own for the vectors and also clearing ourselves to land. We'll do that. So much gotta watch out giving pilots this much power and authority, right? Getting to clear ourselves to land at major international airports. So some of the fun things, I think it was when I was actually flying an MLS charter for, I think it was Inter Miami actually, out to LAFC. So Los Angeles Center was online. lots and lots and lots of people were flying in to Los Angeles International, and then I was probably about 10 miles out from the airport. The controller, you know, he got offline because I mean it was getting late, and all of a sudden it was just basically a CTAF with 25 planes all trying to take off and land at LAX, and that was fun. That was fun. Got to see the kind of the chaos of VATSIM with all sorts of pilots, different skill levels trying to get in. You had guys like cutting others off, trying to cut a short base into the runway, but no, it was exciting. We got on the ground safely. We were able to keep our distance from the traffic ahead of us pretty well, and TCAS is a huge help with that, as you can kind of keep track on how close you're getting to plane. You gotta use your best judgment sometimes and just slow it down a bit. All right, so we're coming up on 10,000 now. I'm gonna go ahead and give them the bells in the back end. It'll be a sterile flight deck now as we go down into Charlotte. Enjoy. Alright, looks like our next airspeed restriction is actually going to be at gate. It's going to be at 210. I'm actually going to go and get these wing landing lights out. That'll give us a little bit of extra drag out there to help with the slowing down. And once we get to Terry, I am going to go ahead and put a first little notch of flaps out. Let's get our identifiers going so we can tell if we're picking up the localizer. Alright, flaps. Well, we should start slowing here soon to 210, I think as soon as we get past Terry. And gate, we're going to need to be at 6,000 feet, 210 knots. There it goes. You can see it dropping. Let's go flaps 5. Let's make sure we have a little bit of a margin above our clean maneuvering speed there. Let's get down. Let's see if I can see the airport out there. I think I have it. After gate, I'm actually going to switch this over to SICDO here. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Erase. We'll just switch it over to heading mode. Alright, we'll switch it over to heading. I'm going to turn it on to VOR loc since we're clearing ourselves to the localizer. There we go. I'm going to switch our bank to 15 just to assist with this. I don't even think we're picking up the localizer yet, so keep it in heading mode until we identify that. So we'll just keep our heading of about, let's do 320. And we need to be, our MSA in this area is 3,800, so we'll take it on down to 4,000 feet. So here we go. Vertical speed, 4,000. It is arms. And we'll just need to verify that it actually levels off at 4,000 feet. We'll keep it at 290 or 210 knots for now. All right. Charlotte International Traffic, Riptide 5801 MD-83, 15 mile or 20 miles south inbound. Visual 36 right, Charlotte. Alright, I definitely have the runways in sight now. There's the, and I do hear the identifier, so let's go ahead and arm the localizer. There we go. We should capture the localizer here. And Wow, what a beautiful view of the Appalachians out in the horizon there to the northwest. And we do have terrain mode on, good. That's the biggest threat that we would want to have displayed on our navigation display right now. $5,000 for 4,000. So let's make sure this levels off. It's armed to intercept the altitude, but said sometimes I've had some issues with the autopilot just blowing through it. That was in the MD-83 though, where I noticed that happening. But all right, it is leveling off. Excellent. So that's what we need. All right, just waiting on the localizer to come alive. Let's take a peek up here. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night in Charlotte. Alright, we should be getting the localizer alive here any minute now. We're actually gonna switch to track IR just to help with this track IR. I definitely recommend it for flying, you know, as you're getting close to the airport environment and you're on it. So you can keep a good eye on the runway. And there's our localizer capture. We have everything identified. I'm going to go ahead and arm the ILS also to capture the glide slope. Let's go ahead now. We'll go ahead with our flaps. Gear down. Flaps 15. Slow down to 160 here. Alright, 180 we can go to flaps 28, so... Alright, speed checks flaps 28. And we'll go ahead and take it back to our V approach speed, which is 132. So let's dial that in. 132. And 160, we'll go to flaps 40, so speed checks flaps 40. And let's get our landing items done. And ignition. Alright, before landing, check landing gear down, 3 green. Let's get that thrust set there to go around, yep. Ignition A set. Spoilers and ABS armed. And medium flaps and slats 40 set. Before landing, check complete. Alright. We'll come up on the flight controls now, turn off all the automation. We're just going to hand fly it in here. Let me make a radio call. Charlotte International Traffic Group Type 5801, 6 mile final runway 36 right, Charlotte. Autopilot's coming off. Auto throttle's coming off. And I have controls and the throttles and the thrust levers. Here we go. Down the chute. Wind is right down the runway, at least here at 3,000 feet. It's supposed to... Looks like the winds are supposed to decrease by about 12 knots once we get to the surface. But alright, I'm coming back on the thrust levers. A little fast now, about 5 knots fast. What a beautiful night, though. Don't see any other traffic, have not heard any other traffic on 122.8 CTAF here. So, oh, so we are cleared to land. If we do have to go miss, we'll climb to 2,300 feet, right traffic back around here for 3-6 right. That's our go around strategy. Speed 132, sync 700. Yep, there go the winds. They've decreased substantially as we get close to the runway. Low, flying up. Visual. Alright, trying to get at ref right when we cross the threshold here. There we go. Visual.
30, 20, 10.
Got a little off. There we go. Now, switch out. Reversers are deployed. There we go. There's 90 knots. And coming up on the brakes. Alright. Pick our next right here. And then I will stop and contact ground since he's on. I appreciate him being on, so I want to give him the courtesy of giving him a call. So I'll just taxi the other side of the hold short line and give him a... Oh, I did not see a sign there. Looks like it's at the Delta 7, Delta 6. So I'm going to stop it right here. And let's set the parking brake for a second. Switch over to 121.9. Give him a call. And Charlotte ground, Riptide 5801, clear runway 36 right at Delta 6, taxi to general aviation ramp on the east side.
Riptide 5801, taxi to FBO via Delta.
Taxi FBO via Delta, Riptide 5801. Have a good night.
You too.
Alright, cool. So via Delta, so that's going to be our right hand turn. Let me turn off the identifier here really quickly. We don't want to keep listening to that. So, right turn via Delta. Here I go. Thanks, yeah, Jason, Marco Girardi, Sean, thanks for the thanks for the landing encouragements there. Yeah. It was really smooth. I didn't have any frame rate issues tonight, so I guess this is a good scenery here in Charlotte. This is that payware that's available. Let's see, the autopilot kick off or something? That's weird. Alright. Put the wing lights in. We'll start our... We have to taxi down. It's going to be the second left.
Charlotte ground is going to close up.
Thanks, have a good morning.
Yep.
That was nice of him to stay on. Appreciate that a lot. But it's about 2:20 in the morning in Charlotte. Alright, we'll try to get all these flow items going. Definitely need to get the APU running. Let me get that. And get our... There it goes. I need to get the GSX to pull up where we're going. I think it's E ramp 28 is what I had written down. That's the GA ramp there. E28, yeah, ramp cargo. Request follow me? No. They should pull up where we're supposed to go here. We're showing there's the Delta 4 Delta 5 intersection, which this is our entry into the ramp. I'm just waiting to get a good view of the marshalers. And we'll go ahead and get the anti-ice off here. Windshield anti-ice off. Perfect. Alright, we'll turn this on in. Engines have plenty of time to cool down. I am going to leave both on just for the maneuvering capabilities of having both, and also making sure we don't blast any aircraft behind us, because I'm not super familiar with this ramp. Sorry, my brakes got stuck on. Make sure this will turn off. There we go. Now we're moving again. I'm trying to see if I can find the might have to use the GSX. I need to get a follow me car. I've actually never used those. I'd like to. Let's try that. Request follow me. Yeah. Follow me vehicle is on the way. Okay. I've never used this. Let's give it a try. Here it comes. Here he is. Yeah, so we were down in the corner there. Let's hang tight here for a second. Here he goes. Hello. Alright, let's roll. Follow him to the parking spot. I could not see a ramper anywhere. Where you going, buddy? Where are you going? Is he gonna run through us? Where are you going? Maybe that didn't work well. He just disappeared. He just drove through the aircraft and disappeared. So let me show me this spot. It should show a pen, I think, somewhere. Huh. I know, Sean, you kind of keep tabs on all our parking and where we go. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to just stop here for a second. I'll show you where I'm at. And is it behind you? Maybe. See, this is, so I turned in here at the intersection of Delta 4 and Delta 5. So I'm pretty sure it's in this area here, right? And maybe you could verify. Like, I really thought it was right in this area. Let me hop outside the aircraft really quickly with the view and see what. Like, I'm pretty sure it's in this area somewhere. I just don't see any marshalers. I'm gonna switch into yeah, thank you. Might be down by Delta 3. Okay, let me do a quick turn off the track IR. I'm gonna use the drone for a second, see if we can't go find it. This will be the equivalent of the ops, like calling them on the radio, being like, "Hey, where are you guys? I don't see you anywhere." Let's see here. I don't see anybody down here. Delta 3. I'm pretty sure I parked up here last time. Let me make sure they're actually free this parking from AI. Maybe that's the problem. Sure, let's try that. Jason, I'm sorry, it's still running both engines. You can deduct it from my paycheck. Thanks for looking into that, Sean. Yeah, I really thought it was like right here. But I don't see anybody. We'll turn off the taxi lights here. If I'm burning anything out while we wait. I am actually going to shut down one of the engines now because this is getting to be a little ridiculous. Might just pull it in myself if I can't. Sending a Google Maps screenshot. Okay, thank you. Shutdown 2. Let's see. Google Maps screenshot. Okay, perfect. Yep, I see exactly where that should be. I'm just going to taxi it over that way and just use that. Here we go. With the back lights back on. Here we go. Just have the right engine operating now. Take a little more thrust than we had to use before, that's for sure. Alright. I just don't know why I don't see any of the GSX rampers or anybody set up. I thought I had set up the profile, but maybe not. Maybe not. Thank you for your help, Sean. Really appreciate that. Alright, I'm just going to keep it a little wide here. I don't want to run our wing into the building. Just since we don't have a marshaller. Alright, this will be our stopping point to let the guys off to go and lose to Charlotte. So I'll set the parking brake. There we go. Get the nose lights off. And let's switch over to APU power. There we go. And engines coming down. Oh, see, look, there's that mouse wheel. See how it clicked that when I'm trying to roll that? There we go. We'll turn off the track hour. Alright, let's shut them down here really quickly. Got all that, got all that. We need to get the APU air on for now. That off, that on. Sean can verify the numbers for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been good though. I'm pretty sure this is where I was supposed to be, so let me get that. That should have gotten that in the after landing. I got busy with the other stuff. And transponder to standby. I'll go ahead and send it back to 2200 and let's run the parking check. Parking brake is set. Flaps, slats up, lights off, fuel levers off, hydraulics are on for now. Beacon N2's low enough. Let's turn that beacon off. Beacon off. Oil and hydraulic quantity checked. Parking check complete. Let's get the ground power on this airplane ASAP now that we got the beacon off. It's not going to let me do it that way, so we're going to actually move over here to the EFB and turn on the get flight mode off. Aircraft services. We'll get the GPU on that way. So GPU's on. So we'll get the AC on. And we got our external power so we can shut down this APU, save a little bit of fuel. Looks like our frequency and voltage are good. So here we go. We'll turn it all on. There we go. And our APU is off. Perfect. And let's open the door. Flight deck door. Unlocked. And I'll open the doors. They should start deplaning now. Let's have to simulate. I don't think GSX is going to do it since I'm not at the proper spot, but change facility. Yeah, that's fine. All right, we'll just assume that that's done. Well, that's our flight for today. It was a lot of fun. Certainly appreciate having you on board. I'll go ahead and get this jump seat stowed so we can get out of the flight deck and do our walk arounds and a little bit of outro music. But beautiful night here in Charlotte. Certainly was fun. A little smoother sailing from Orlando up here compared to the other night out of Fort Lauderdale with the pressurization issues. But it's been a good season with Inter Miami. Their season has come to an end now. We saw that they did lose to Charlotte 1-0, but a valiant effort by Inter Miami. And next up for them, they're actually heading to China in the first week of November to play some friendlies against Chinese sides. So we're not sure who's flying them over there. Coastal is not scheduled to do that, but it's going to be a long haul for them. So that will be an interesting thing. I'll try to follow how they do over there in China. But yeah, taking the Mad Dog over to China could be a little bit crazy. So Jason, thanks for the reminder to file the flight. Should be filed now. I think I'm not on the Discord. Let me verify that that actually was filed. I believe it's showing filed on my end. But for now, I appreciate all of you being on board. For VREF Simmer signing off. I'll see you again. I'm planning to stream, I believe, Friday. We're flying the Florida Panthers from Fort Lauderdale back up to Boston to play the Bruins, who I believe are still undefeated in league play. So it should be a real test for the Florida Panthers. But thank you all for tuning in. I'll do a quick walk around. We'll fly out of here. VREF Simmer signing off. See you again in the skies soon.